everyone, and welcome to my channel, Budgeting for Future. Today we are doing our budget with me for the next 2 weeks. That will be from May 7th to May 20th. And I will just say that this one will be just a little bit different than normal because we've had quite a few weird things happen. We do budget by paycheck. So we are only budgeting for those next 2 weeks. And yeah, let's go ahead and just jump into it. So to start us off, we're going to go ahead and start with our income. Now, in the last 2 weeks, we found out that my husband did not submit his timesheet on time to get paid for one of the weeks of work that he was paid or he was supposed to be paid. And now he'll be receiving 3 weeks worth of works in terms of his pay, if that makes sense. I feel like I jumbled all those words, but if that makes any sense to you. So his income is going to be quite a bit more than usual. Now, we do both work full time, and we've worked throughout the whole pandemic. He should be receiving $2,270.91. And myself, I should be receiving just 2 weeks of work, and that is $1,272.62. I'm pretty sure that number is spot on there. I did just get moved to a salary position, and this was what I was paid last pay period. So we'll see if anything kind of shakes out and changes between the last two, but I think this is my new salary that I'll be working with. And from now on, I won't ever have overtime money because I will be salary employee at my company. And then last but not least, we do want to put in here our FSA, our flexible savings account. It pays us money every 2 weeks as well, because we do ask for our money to be reimbursed for our childcare costs, and that will be $192.31. I also always have an extra line in here as well, but we don't have any extra planned. I swear almost every single time we do a budget, we always have extra money coming in somewhere. Typically, it's because our bank account pays us a dividend every single month, but other stuff, miscellaneous, comes up as well. So I always think it's a good idea to have that as an option. And then now that we know that we're working with about $3,737, we can go ahead and start working on our fixed expenses. Now, for our fixed expenses, these are the things that we know exactly what the bill is going to cost us, and it doesn't really change very often. Things like our mortgage and really any sort of utilities to keep up our lifestyle will typically be found in our fixed expenses. The first one being our mortgage. We do split our mortgage payment over 2 pay periods, so we will be putting $729.58 away for that. And then we also have our electricity bill due in the next 2 weeks. It is our gas as well as our electric are all in one bill, and that will be $146.73. That'll probably be one of the lowest electric bills that we have during the year, because we're in that time in the Midwest where your heat isn't being really used very much, but also you don't need to start using your air conditioning yet. So it's nice that it found itself at under $150, but typically we will find that our electric bill is closer to about $200, and sometimes it'll go up when it gets really, really cold in the winter time. We also have our internet due, and we keep having internet outages, which is super fun, but that'll cost us $50. And then last but not least, for our fixed expenses is our childcare costs. We do have a 1-year-old, and she goes to daycare 4 days a week, and that will be costing us $360 for these next 2 weeks. After that, we go in and we determine what variable expenses will be coming up. these are typically what our cash envelopes end up being, and I'm normally posting at least one cash envelope video every 2 weeks to show you guys how I stuff those and what I've got left over in my envelopes, which most of the time isn't very much. We do a pretty good job of really nailing what right on our head exactly how much we spend in these categories, but we have been increasing them lately. So the first is groceries. We've kind of just finally decided that we previously, as a family, really only needed like $200 every 2 weeks in order to feed my husband and myself. But as our daughter has gotten older, she is now also eating, and she needs lunches and breakfasts and snacks. So many snacks. So we have decided to increase that budget because it was just not really like working out. The numbers kept on not adding up. And so we have decided to increase it by $50, and it will be $300 for the next 2 weeks there. We also have a gas envelope that we like to have. This one we're keeping pretty consistent at $40. We're doing a pretty good job at sticking to that. Overall, typically we spend closer to about $34 on gas, but our gas prices in our area have definitely been increasing, so $40 is working out really well for our family. It's making it so thus far we've been able to save the money that we haven't used in previous paychecks, and then we're having a little bit of a gas reserve, so we will be going out of town during this pay period, but instead of increasing our gas money that we need to be able to spend, we're just taking from previous paychecks that money that we've been saving up for gas. So that's kind of nice that we're doing so well in that category that we're not having to budget extra when we have to cross the state. Next is out to eat, and we've had a increase in this category for a few weeks now, but we have decided $175 is what's working for us. And so overall, since me getting my new job, which I would say increased our family income by about $7,000, we now are spending about $75 more every 2 weeks. And let me see if I can do the math on that. So in terms of our lifestyle creep that we're working with, we've increased our grocery budget by $50, and then we've increased our out to eat by $25, meaning that we're spending about $75 extra every 2 weeks, so 26 pay periods in a year. So yeah, I mean, we are increasing our lifestyle and the cost of it by about $2,000. I feel like some of that can be counted as lifestyle creep, but I also think that as our family is growing and getting bigger, and our daughter's getting bigger, we're also kind of seeing those changes in our budget. It's an interesting time because before having her, our budget was pretty standard and changes didn't really need to be made, but literally every week, I mean, we're dealing with more stress and we're dealing with her eating, and it's just an interesting time because she'll only get more and more expensive, but it's like, how expensive is too expensive? And I feel like increasing the amount of money our family is spending by only $2,000, even though I got like a $7,000 bump. My husband probably got really close to a $2,000 bump. In fact, I can tell you how much he just increased his wage by. Yes, so, okay, yeah, his income, I think, only went up by $900 in the past, like, month or so per year, so I feel like we're doing pretty well there. I would love to know your thoughts if you have, like, been through this stage of life where, you know, you're adding family members to your family. How did you guys go about, like, handling those transitions? If you have any tips, tricks, anything at all, please go ahead, comment them, please, because it's weird because I love her so much, but I definitely feel guilty that we keep having to like spend more of our money to upkeep our lifestyle, but I also love our lifestyle. So I don't know. it's hard. It gives me anxiety. I'll be honest. I'm a very anxious person, and I definitely have anxiety around increasing these budget items, but honestly, it's where our money is being spent, and I think it's more important that our budget reflect our lifestyle than us trying to have our lifestyle be reflected in our budget. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to some of our other variable expenses. These next ones include our fun money categories. Now, my husband, myself, and my daughter all get typically $100 every 2 weeks for our fun money. This is kind of our slush funds. They help pay for different miscellaneous expenses. We are going to a wedding during this pay period, so I'm sure we will probably need to buy a gift, and so that will come out of my husband and I's fun money because we're the ones going to the wedding. And, other miscellaneous things like needing new clothes, especially for our daughter. We will be shopping garage sales sooner rather than later. Those sorts of expenses all come out of these fun money categories, and I love having these. It kind of gives you like the freedom to do whatever you want, just within a reason, that's been decided among everyone in the family. Now, because my husband wasn't paid properly in the last budget with me, we have decided that we would only give ourselves $25 each for that pay period. And now in this pay period, we're going to give ourselves the extra $75 that we were missing out because we did end up getting that money, just it's coming later than we had originally planned. So typically these fun money categories are only $100, but this time around it'll be $175. I did consider for a minute maybe just keeping us at $100, and then we could just say, oh, we saved that money instead and put it towards our other goals. But to be quite frank with you, we chose $100 every 2 weeks for a specific reason. It ends up being what fits best with our family. If we want to upgrade an appliance later this year, we'll probably pull from these fun money categories. So we definitely want to make sure that they're staying up, and we're not trying to be restrictive in them overall. Typically, I would have a debts category, and I will go ahead and just put it here just for show, but we aren't really paying on any of our debts right now. We do have a 401k loan that I will mention. That is about $57 every 2 weeks, but it does come out right out of my husband's pay. So that amount that you see up there is the amount he's taking home after paying the 401k loan. And then we also have some student loans, but they are all currently federal student loans. So we are not currently paying on those, but once those come back into our lives, it'll be right around $160 that we'll be owing every month. Now, in terms of our savings and our sinking funds, this is definitely where a lot of our money has been going lately. We do have some reoccurring ones and then some that are changing. I'm still trying to get the hang of what I want our sinking funds to be because we definitely are still trying to grow into making these work in our budget. They are new to us as of this year, but I am liking them a lot so far. I find them pretty useful overall. The first is our phone sinking fund. We do pay our phone bill annually, so if we save $40 every 2 weeks, then we end up having enough money to put away for that payment in either December or January. Next up is pets. I do separate out the spending of litter and cat food from our groceries because we do typically purchase them from Chewy.com, and we put $30 in there, and it's been working really well that way. We are doing a savings challenge, and I think for this pay period, we're going to go ahead and put $350 away. Originally, I planned to save $350 last paycheck, but because of everything that happened with my husband's pay, we ended up opting for a much smaller amount and transitioning that $350 goal to this week. If you do want to see more about what that challenge looks like, I have a link down below. And we are trying to contribute to our retirement accounts. We do some of that before our paycheck comes to us through our 401ks, but we're trying to aim for about a 14% of our income going towards retirement this year. And in order to keep that up, we are going to need to put $265 away for the next 2 weeks. We have a Christmas sinking fund, and I think I'm only going to put $20 in it this pay period. I've been going with a higher number, but to be quite frank with you, what we'll probably do around Christmas time is really pull from these fun money accounts. And this Christmas, I think, is just going to be more of a buffer account than anything else. So I'm reducing that to try and make it so our money is a little bit more liquid at this time to try and meet some of our other financial goals. We have some car maintenance that we need to do still, and we'll be putting $25 towards that. We're saving up pretty heavily for a vacation right now. We finally agreed on what we want to do, and so we're actually going to be putting $250 away this paycheck for that. So a lot more than normal, but we're hoping to go in August, and we're going to need to start booking some hotel rooms and things of that nature. So it has officially become more of a priority. In terms of clothing, we're going to put $20 away for that. Typically, the last thing we like doing in our household is buying new shoes, and so we don't love pulling from our fun money accounts in order to do that. So by having this clothing sinking fund, we're able to buy more shoes but not feel the impact as much. So $20 has been working in order to buy us new shoes just about quarterly. And then last but not least, we are working on our down payment. We're hoping to buy another rental property in the very short future, and we plan on putting $411.53 into that in order to make this a zero-based budget. If you did enjoy this video, please consider giving it a like and also consider subscribing. 80% of people who watch my videos are not yet subscribed, and I'm not mad at you. But if you've made it all the way to the end of the video, then you must be enjoying something. So definitely consider at the very least. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!